Mr. Lemoncello's Library by Grabenstein. Chapter 18. The contestants raced down the stairs to the Rotunda reading room. Kyle saw Haley Daly dash down another set of steps into the basement, to what the floor plan called the stacks. McGill and Andrew, the two library experts, grabbed separate tables and started working the touchscreen computers. Bridget Wade did the same thing. Charles Chiltington strolled out the archway door and into the foyer with the fountain. Yasmin Smith-Snyder was running around the circular room with her floor plan in front of her face, like someone frantically checking the text messages while racing down a crowded sidewalk. Sarah Russell found a comfy chair and sat down to finish her book. The girl definitely wasn't into the whole spirit of the game. "So, Kyle," said Kimmy, "you want to form an alliance?" "What do you mean?" "It's what people do on reality shows like Survivor. We help each other until, everybody else is eliminated, and we have to stab each other in the back." I don't remember anything about eliminations." "Oh, right. But hey, there was nothing in the rules that said we couldn't share the top prize. I just want to win." "So, cool. We're a team?" "Sure." "Great," said Kimmy. "I nominate you to be our captain. All in favor, raise their hands." Kyle and Kimmy both raised their hands. "It's unanimous. Okay, let's go ask that antique librarian a question." "What?" "We both get to ask one question, right?" "Right. Okay, here's mine. Hey, lady, how do we get out here?" "And you think she'll tell you?" "No, not really. So what's your plan?" "Well, I was thinking—" Suddenly Yasmin shouted, "I win!" The rest of them stopped whatever they were doing. "It's just like last night when Kyle found dessert in the most obvious place. To get out of the library, all we have to do is use one of the fire exits." "Duh." She headed toward a hallway between the Book Nook Cafe and Community Meeting Room A. Kyle stood up. Yasmin, I think maybe you missed some of what—" Charles Chiltington dashed in the room, shouted, "You're not going to win, Yasmin, not unless you beat me to that fire exit." He bolted toward the corridor. Yasmin bolted toward it, too. "You guys," said Kyle. Kyle could see a red exit light glowing at the far end of the hallway. Charles and Yasmin were sprinting down. Charles stumbled and fell. Yasmin kept running harder, faster. Slammed to the exit bar on the metal door. Alarm sounded. Flashing red lights swirled. Somewhere a tiger roared. Mr. Lemoncello's voice rang out of the overhead speakers. "Sorry, Yasmin, that's where your sidewalk ends. You broke the rules. You're out of the game. Your library card will be placed in the discard bowl, and you'll be going home." The fire exit door slowly swung shut, and Yasmin disappeared into the bright sunshine outside the library. Kyle checked out Charles Chiltington, who would have been sent home if he hadn't stumbled and hadn't reached the exit first. The guy was smirking. That's when it hit Kyle. Chiltington had faked Yasmin out. He knew she couldn't win by going out a fire exit, but he ran down the hall to fool her into thinking she was doing the right thing. Oh yeah, Chiltington was definitely in it to win it, no matter who he had to trample. Whistling casually, Charles strolled back to the lobby. "What's Chiltington doing out in the entrance hall?" said Kimmy. "They told us that the way isn't the way in." Before Kyle could answer, Andrew Pickleman started shouting at Miguel, who wandered over to Pickleman's table. "Get away! You're trying to steal my idea!" "No, man. I just happened to see your screen. I don't think that particular periodical—" "You know what, Miguel? I don't really care what you think. This isn't school, this isn't the public library, and you're not the boss here, so just leave me alone." Miguel tossed up his hands. "No problem, bro. I was just trying to help." "Ah, you mean help me lose?" Andrew stormed up the closest spiral case to the second floor and the Dewey Decimal Rooms. Miguel looked sort of sad, headed up a separate spiral staircase. Bridget Wadge traveled after them. "Want to follow those guys like Bridget did?" whispered Kimmy. "I'll take Pickleman, you take Miguel." "No, thanks," said Kyle. Looked up at the dome ceiling. "Much more interested in the windows up there." 3 stories above the rotunda floor, just below the Wonder Dome, there was a series of 10 arched windows set between the recessed statued nooks. The windows acted like skylights at the base of the dome, allowing sunshine to flood into the room below. "Do you think those windows open?" said Akemi. "Maybe, maybe not, but I've never let a closed or locked window stand between me and winning a game. Just ask my dad." "What?" "Never mind, come on." Kyle trotted over to the cushy chair where Sarah Russell was peacefully reading her book. Excuse me, I hate to interrupt." Sierra raised her head. She had a very dreamy look in her eyes. "I need a book." "Really?" said Sierra. "What kind?" "Like the one you found up there." He gestured to the curving bookcase climbing up the back half of the rotunda. "Fiction," said Sierra. "Right," said Kyle. "Love me some fiction." "Well, what kind of story do you like?" "Something way up high. The higher the better." "Really?" "Yep. Well, that's an interesting way to put together a reading list based on a bookcase elevation. I'd like something on the top shelf, maybe right under the hologram statue of that guy hanging out with the cat in the hat." "That's Dr. Seuss," said Sierra. "He wrote The Cat in the Hat." "Sweet," said Kyle. "But I just like how close he is to that window." 19. "Oh, Miss Tobin," Kimmy called out. "I need to use my librarian consultation." "Sure about this?" said Kyle. "That's the beauty of being a team. After we burn through mine, we still have yours." The hologram librarian appeared and advised to Kimmy that Huckleberry Finn by Mark Twain was the book located right under the holographic image of Dr. Seuss and the Cat in the Hat. After Miss Tobin vanished, Kyle and Kimmy used their desktop computer to find the call number for Huckleberry Finn. Kyle grabbed a pen and scribbled it down on his palm. "Are you going to do what I think you're going to do?" said Kimmy. "Yep, I'm going to float up there, hoist myself onto that nook where the hologram is, reach over to the window, push it open, and stick out my head. Technically, I will have found my way out of the library. Nothing in the rules said anything about how far outside we had to go to win. You could fall." "I don't think so. I'm wiry, like a monkey. Seriously, Kyle, it isn't worth it." Yes it is. Did I mention I want to win?" "You should improvise a safety harness," suggested Sierra Russell. "Huh? Well, in this adventure book I read once, the hero was in a very similar predicament. So I removed the curled handset wires from several telephones, bundled them together, and made a safety rope." 10 minutes later, Kyle, Kimmy, and Sierra had stripped the springy wires off a couple of telephone handsets. Kyle looped the labels around his waist and tied the other end to the handrail of the hover ladder. When fully extended, the safety rope would stretch out to more than 20 feet. "It should work." "Careful out there," said Kimmy. "Yes," said Sierra, who wasn't reading her book anymore. Apparently watching a real-life person risk this real live life by doing something really, really scary was one thing more exciting than reading. Kyle locked his feet into the hover ladder ski boot brackets. "Here we go." Serious adrenaline raced through his body as he tapped the call number for Huckleberry Finn into the hover ladder's book locator keypad. "When you open the window," said Kimmy, "just shout, 'I found the way out,' and we win." "Right," said Kyle. "All three of us." "Huh? Hey, Sierra came up with the safety rope idea. She's on our team now, too." "Fine, whatever. Just don't break your neck." "Not part of the plan." Kyle pressed the enter button into the control panel. The platform floated up off the ground and drifted slightly to the right. "Be careful," said Kimmy. "Watch it." "I'm not doing anything. This thingamajiggy is doing all the work. I'm just along for the ride." Kyle gripped the handles as the platform rose higher and higher. He sailed past books by Tolstoy and Thackeray. Tilting his head back, he looked up at the semi-transparent statues projected on the curved niches next to the arched windows. They were a weird mix, a thoughtful African-American in a three-piece suit and a bow tie, a guy with long curly hair, old-fashioned clothes, and looking-glass, a long-haired dude in a scruffy shirt hiding behind cutouts of the letters PMB, a bald guy with a beard. Since the statues were really holographic projections, they had chisel-type labels floating in front of their pedestals, identifying who the famous people were. The ones closest to Kyle were George Orwell, Lewis Carroll, Dr. Seuss, and Maya Angelou. As he continued to climb, Kyle could hear the soft whir of the electromagnetics invisibly lifting him towards the ceiling. Then he heard something much louder. "What a ridiculous idea!" Charles Chiltington. He was standing on the second-floor balcony at the far side of the rotunda. "You know, Keeley, I thought you about doing the same thing, but then I noticed something you obviously overlooked. There's a wire mesh security screen on the side of those windows." The levitating platform stuttered to a stop. "Enjoy staring at the ceiling, Keeley. I'm off to win yet another game." Kyle ignored Chiltington and grabbed hold of the ledge beneath Dr. Seuss's berth. He tried to haul himself up, but his feet wouldn't budge. They were locked in place by those ski boot clamps. "And this is as close to the skylights could see." Chiltington was right. There was a security screen on the other side of the windows. Kyle checked his wristwatch. It was 1 p.m. He and his teammates had wasted an hour on the lame window idea. He sighed heavily and stared at the quivering Seuss projected in the bowed niche above his head. The Cat in the Hat's mouth started to move. "Think left, think right, think low, think high." Kyle recognized the voice. It was Mr. Lemoncello. "Oh, the things you can think if only you try." In other words, Kyle was back to square one. He needed to think up a whole new escape plan. The ladder began a slow and steady descent to the floor, even though Kyle hadn't pushed a button. "Don't listen to smarty pants, Charles," Kimmy coached as Kyle clustered toward the floor. "It's worth a shot." "I agree," said Sierra. A blood-curdling scream came ringing down the staircase from the basement. "It's Haley. I saw her go downstairs." "That's where the stacks are," said Sierra. "Come on," said Kyle. "She could be in serious trouble." "You should never help your competition, Keeley," scoffed Charles as he casually strode down a spiral staircase. "Unless, of course, you always play to lose."